Welcome, everybody, to the first AGP Quickies. My name is Tyler. I am here with Max, aka Maximilian. Max, why don't you tell everybody what we're going to be about?
Yeah, man. AGP Quickies is all about, if your significant other just isn't in the mood to give you that little quickie in your life, AGP's got you covered. That's what we're here to do. We're here to give you the quickies in your life that you may not be getting elsewhere. Tyler and I are big nerds. If you listen to the podcast, obviously you know me. Tyler was on Couch Crunchers with me, and we are cousins, and we just love talking about Star Wars and video games and Lord of the Rings and all sorts of stuff. So, our intention here is to just kind of keep it more concise, and we're probably going to talk, video games a little bit more than we do on the main channel. So, if you're a gamer, stay tuned.
Yeah, games, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, everything that your geek heart desires. That's what we're going to talk about. If you want us to talk about something in particular, let us know, and we'll cover it. Make sure that you stay to the end of the video because we are going to have a sweet Funko Pop giveaway. It's Star Wars related. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our news items. The first one is going to be that it is highly rumored that there will be a Goldeneye remake that's going to be announced soon. I think it's awesome. Max, what do you think?
If it's a full remake, I'd be really excited. I mean, even if it was just like a port of the N64 version, I'd be excited to just play that. But yeah, I've been hearing about this rumor too, and like a lot of people thought it was going to be on the Xbox showcase that happened earlier today. It wasn't. Some people were like, "Yeah, it's going to be in the showcase and it's going to be released today," and I'm like, "Where are you getting this idea from? That just seems a bit much." But I'm super down. I hope it's a remake and not just a port of the N64 version, but either way, I'd be super down.
Oh yeah. I think they obviously need to update mechanics because if you want to, you
That's
don't
true.
just
With
want to
twin
bring in
sticks
the old.
nowadays, like, yeah,
Yeah, you don't just want to bring in the old crowd. You want the new crowd to come in and see, hey, what was this all about? And it's going to be way more replayable if you update, the game mechanics, but also just leave in some of those classic things like the really fake blood coming down the screen, the campaign characters doing their funky flip when you kill them, stuff like that.
big head mode.
Could Yeah, big head mode. um maybe make Famke Janss's boobs really pointy, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think it's awesome. Let's jump to the next one. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be renewed for season 2, which I think is great. When they initially announced that it's only going to be one season, I know a lot of people were like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. I was like, I don't want less Obi-Wan. I want more Obi-Wan. Give us more Obi-Wan. So I am super excited about this. What's your take on that, Max?
I'm with you. My original thought was the same. I thought it was going to be a limited series and that this was going to just be a complete arc, which I would have been happy about because I never expected to see more Ian McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi anyway. But absolutely, I would be so down for a second season. I know there's mixed feelings. You and I have slightly different opinions on it, but I think overall we're both mostly positive. I think I'm just more positive on it than you are, but 100%. I am so excited about this idea. I hope it gets officially greenlit soon.
And stay tuned for future episodes because we are going to talk much more Obi-Wan. As the series comes closer to an end, we're gonna jump into that and really get more into depth with that. Next item on the list: Spider-Man: Homecoming, not Homecoming. Spider-Man: No Way Home. It is going to be coming back to theaters. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right?
Like a super fan edition is what they're calling it.
Yeah, we had the like Morbin time, like this. It's weird that like things are coming back to theaters like this. But
Yeah.
honestly, I loved that movie. I thought it was great, and I would love to go see it in theaters again. It has a couple of extra scenes, but I think it should come out digitally at the same time. If they're going to do that, I would like to see it released on both. Most people aren't going to want to go back to theaters, I don't think, but they are going to want to see that extra content.
See, for me, it depends on how much extra content there is. If we're talking 2 scenes and like 2 minutes worth of extra content, I'm pretty sure I saw that movie 5 times in theaters, maybe 4, but I saw it a lot, so I don't need to go to the theaters again if it's just a couple scenes. It's like I
Yeah.
can watch those when they release on YouTube the next day. But I do agree, if they're going to do it, I think it'd be good to release it in digital. I know the frustration some people have about this is the DVD, Blu-ray, 4K disc was supposed to have all these deleted scenes and special features, and they didn't get them. And so some people feel like
Mm.
this re-release to the theaters is like what was supposed to be on the DVD, and that
Oh
sucks.
yeah.
That sucks if so.
Yeah.
But if it's a substantial amount of new stuff, like if we're talking 15, 20 minutes of new stuff, I will go to the theater. If it's like 5 minutes or less, I don't know. I mean, if I'm bored and I have some extra money to throw around, sure. But with $10 gas prices, I don't know. Am I going to want to drive to the movie theaters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I only saw it once in theater, so going back to see it again would be great.
Sure. I mean,
And
the
I think,
theater experience, yeah.
yeah, and I think that there's a lot more people that would feel that way than they would feel about seeing Morbius, but
Dude, I don't know what they were thinking releasing that again. I saw it made like $85,000, which sure, if
awful.
I could make $85,000 in a weekend, that'd be great. But for a movie studio, come on. That's
Yeah, you didn't
nothing.
spend what, like, $80
Nothing.
million making it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, that was awful and a terrible, terrible idea. But let's jump into the meat of what we're talking about today. We are going to talk about the Microsoft Bethesda conference that was today. Still not having E3, which is a bummer, but
Yeah.
we did get a little bit of gaming news today. We're going to talk about our top 5 games that we liked from the conference. Max, what do you want to start with?
Sure, man. Let's go ahead and start with High on Life, which you and my brother-in-law, I guess, so your cousin, we were joking. We have a chat. We're gamers, and we talked all the time. We were joking that High on Life looks like it was made by someone who was high, but I'm okay with it. Like it looks hilarious. It looks so fun. I don't know. What did you think about High on Life?
Um, yes. Okay, I totally remember this game now. so so yeah, they had the talking guns and like the talking knife and stuff like that. And like one of them was like they were shooting out his babies from his back, and he's
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's hilarious.
"It's okay, I can make more." I'm like, "What? Those are your children."
I know, right? Like that's a
Yeah,
pretty
no,
dark joke, but it was funny.
yeah, no, I thought that it looked funny. I wonder how it will translate to like 40 hours of gameplay. Like if those guns will just get annoying or if they'll continue to be funny. Um,
Sure. I don't expect it to be
but
that long, but
yeah,
it,
maybe not. But like playing Cyberpunk, they had that game that could, or that gun that could talk, and it was funny at first, and then eventually it got really annoying.
I don't think I ever
But
got that gun
Skippy,
actually.
Skippy, yeah. I mean, it was a really powerful gun once you got, if you spec'd right. But yeah, that looks like a good one. Let's jump into Redfall. Redfall is the co-op game. You can play it single player as well.
Yeah.
And you hunt vampires and you kill people who are like worshiping vampires and wanting to become vampires. Um,
Yeah,
and
dude. I think it looks cool. And have you played like
yeah,
Dishonored and why am I blanking on the other one? But Dishonored is Prey. I haven't played Prey, but have you played Dishonored at all?
I played a little bit of Dishonored, but it was way after it came out, so it was kind of
Sure.
dated when I played it.
Same for me. Like I think it came out in 2010. I played it last year. So yeah, I mean it's an old game at this point, but I still think that like yeah, while it doesn't hold up as well today, I can see the bones of like what a good game it was. The mechanics were really cool, and that's the
Yeah,
studio. That's the same studio that made that's making Redfall, and I'm excited. I think I'm not a big zombie game guy. I think you know that about me. It's not my like
yeah, I'm
favorite
not
genre,
either.
but but it's going to be a fun like PvE co-op experience. And so I'm in. Like we played our gaming group, we played Back for Blood last year. It was okay. I just like I
Yeah.
probably played it with you guys like 3 times, and I was just kind of bored after that. This looks like a
Yeah.
game I might actually want to play because there's a storyline and it's got like kind of this goofy feel to it, and the enemies are a little bit more interesting. I'm very much looking forward to this.
And that was my same thought. I was like, Back for Blood was just like, it was something that was fun, but then after I played it, I was like, okay, I experienced that.
Yeah,
So hopefully this will have some more engaging features and more engaging story.
the special
So yeah,
abilities and stuff. I think it's going to be more interesting,
yeah, and maybe vampires will be more
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 fun to
interesting
fight.
than
Yeah,
zombies.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the next one.
Flintlock.
Plague Flintlock, sure, let's do it.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Yeah, Flintlock. I loved that. What did you think about it?
I actually created a list of my top 5 games. That was my number 3 after A Plague Tale, which I'm sure we're talking about next, and Starfield. I think Flintlock looks like it's really cool. I want to know more about it. It looks like it's an open world, third person action type game. You've got guns, you got swords, you're fighting monsters, you're fighting people. Like there's going to be bosses. But like what I'm wondering is what's that character's name, or is that just us and there's a character creator that we don't know about yet, or like that kind of stuff. Like what is this world about? What's the story more? I mean, it's like I know you're like fighting a god, but I want to know
Yeah,
more about that game because I had no idea it existed and it's supposed to come out within the next year. And it looks
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I agree. I think it looks great. And I was kind of thinking, when she was like, "Is it possible to kill a god?" Nobody knows. I was like, "Well, I mean, Kratos does, but
Kratos does know. And you watch
Kratos.
Thor coming out in a month or so, you'll know who else has power to do that.
That's true. But yeah, no, I thought it looked cool. I thought it had some pretty interesting game mechanics. I'm just on the same page with you where I feel like the whole conference kind of felt like there wasn't enough information. Like it showed some really cool cinematics, and certain games did go really in depth with the gameplay and what the
Yeah,
gameplay
like
was going to be
Forza,
like.
Starfield, and yeah.
Yeah, but other most of them I would say didn't really give me enough of like what is this game, and this was one of them. But from what we did see, I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, I'm hopeful because there's another conference on Tuesday for Xbox. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they're doing another one on Tuesday, and I'm hopeful that we get more about Flintlock in that conference. I'm also hopeful it's not just expanding on what we heard in this one, but that there's going to be a few new things. Because overall, I was like not overly impressed with the conference. I liked it, but it could have been better. I'm hoping there's some more reveals saved for Tuesday.
Yeah, my guess is that the next conference is going to include more things that are coming out, not just in the next 12
Yeah,
months.
maybe we'll see Fable
Um,
there, Hellblade, stuff like that.
right. And I think that this conference was supposed to be like the hype conference, and the next one will be more of like an update, like, hey, this is where we're at with these other games that we've already talked about, because it's really hard to continue with hype if you're just like teasing the same thing every year. If you make it more of like, hey, this an update on what we've already told you about,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe you present it a different way, then it can keep people's interest more. And that would be my guess on where
yeah,
they're going with that.
yeah.
But
Probably right.
I definitely think that there's a possibility that we'll see more of what we just saw. So that would be cool. Um, all right, next one, A Plague Tale of Requiem. Plague Tale Requiem? I don't know.
Yeah, a Plague Tale
Plague
Requiem.
Tale.
That's right.
Yeah. This was my first time really seeing anything about it. I didn't play the previous one. I think maybe I knew the name, but I didn't really know anything about it. Um, and it looked really cool. I thought that it gave me very much of Last of Us vibes. And maybe mixed with some other psychological things thrown in there. But it looked creepy. It looked like the story was interesting. I would like to see more of the mechanics of the game. Like you did mention to me, outside of this podcast, that there was puzzles and stuff. I'd like to see like more of what those are like. But yeah, what was your take on it?
My take was that when I created a list of most anticipated, like what I was most excited about, this is actually number one, and Starfield's actually number two for me. I am most excited about this game of any game that they showed today. To be fair, if Starfield was coming out this year, that would probably be my number one. But since Plague Tale's actually coming out this year, I'm like the most excited about that. I loved the first one. I played it last year for the first time, and probably took me like 3 days to play it. It's like a 10-hour game, maybe 12 hours. And I just couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop playing it. And so I'm really stoked when I heard that they were releasing the sequel and it was going to be coming out this year. I was so stoked. Like I think I finished A Plague Tale Innocence right before Requiem was announced at like last year's E3 or whenever it was. Not E3, but the Xbox conference, whatever. So I'm very excited. Like the first game looked pretty good graphically, but you can tell that they're, more of a double A studio. Well, they're not a double A studio. I mean, they make Flight Simulator, but you could tell for A Plague Tale Innocence that the budget wasn't quite as there as it seems it is for A Plague Tale Requiem. And it looks like, I got crap on the podcast the other night for saying pretty when referring to like a bleak game, but I think it looks really pretty. Like graphically, it looks great. The facial models are good. The world looks really good. The rats look way better than they did in the first game. And the first game was really pretty, by the way. It just, this one you can tell had more budget and they have more technology. I cannot tell you how excited I am. 2022 has been kind of a dud gaming year for me. Like I've barely gamed because I'm just not interested in anything. But A Plague Tale, like I'm very, very interested.
Yeah, and it's always like exciting when you have a game that you want it to get more attention, and then it has its success that you want, and then you're like, oh, it's coming out with another, and it's better. There's more, and it's
And it's
better.
on Game
That's
Pass. I love it. I don't have to spend
yeah,
any extra money, and I get to play the game.
that's awesome. Yeah. All right, let's jump into the big one. The big one. If you know anything about Starfield, you know how anticipated it is, and it looks visually great. Max, let's hear your take on it first.
Yeah, so I watched the trailer on it twice today, actually. I watched the live stream. I mean, I was like an hour behind, but I was watching it on the live stream. And so the quality, as you know, isn't as good when you're watching a live stream. And so like I thought, wow, this looks pretty good. But there were times where like, maybe there were fight animations going on or whatever. There was a lot going on the screen. It was blurry. I couldn't tell what was going on. Well, then I went back and watched more of like an uploaded version that wasn't as compressed and blurry, and it is quite nice looking. It's a massive like open world type game, so there are games out there that are going to look better than Starfield coming out right now, but I think it looks really good. I think the guns looked pretty cool. I thought the lighting was good. I'm very excited for this game. I think you described it this way in our text. You were like, it's kind of got like a Mass Effect vibe to it, and so you said
Yeah.
that, and I decided to wear my N7 shirt, in
Oh, nice.
commemoration, and my Xbox hat because we're talking about Xbox. But um, I can't wait. I loved Skyrim. I haven't played the Fallout series as much. I'm more of an Elder Scrolls guy, but Oblivion was the first game I put like loads and loads of time into. I did everything in that. Skyrim I absolutely loved, and so I'm just really excited. It's a space game, and it looks like the combat's actually going to be good, because if I can complain about anything in Oblivion and Skyrim, it's that the combat has never really been that great. But the world building's always been good. The questing has been good. So if we've got great questing, great story, and now good like first person shooting combat, this is the grounds for something incredible.
Yeah, I think it looks amazing. Yeah, it gave me a Mass Effect feel, and I feel like it's hitting the marks of what other space exploration games wanted to be, but never quite got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe
Um,
technology or vision or whatever was holding them back. But yeah, it does feel like the scope is massive. Did you hear
yeah,
1,000 worlds is what he said you can
that
explore?
completely insane.
I
It's
think that's
completely insane.
misleading. It's got to be.
I,
There's no way.
I We'll have to actually see, and maybe there will be somebody like Anakin out there that's like, I want to be the first one to explore them all, um,
I was
but
wondering where you were going with that when you said Anakin. Good reference. Well done. Deep cut.
but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, because you get with like games that we've already mentioned tonight, like Cyberpunk didn't quite deliver what they promised. But from what we can see so far, I think it's on the right track. Looks really good. And basically like maybe a more customizable Mass Effect. But one thing that you did mention too is that it doesn't seem as futuristic. It seems kind of like midway between what we would
Yeah.
normally see
Mass
from.
Effect is way more futuristic. And this feels like
Right.
early space travel technology.
Right, which we'll have to see how that plays out. See if that's as interesting. But yeah, I thought it looks great. Um, Tell us all, what you thought in the comments. Please give us a like, share, subscribe, and here's what we've got for you for our prize giveaway. It is an exclusive Luke Skywalker glow in the dark pop. All you have to do is like this video. Let me get it back in the frame here. Like this video, comment, and you'll be entered into the drawing for this pop, and we'll announce that next week. Yeah, so give us a like, a subscribe, and remember that you can never underestimate the value of a quickie.